Welcome to the Gentleman's Guide to Monster Kingdoms, the third game in the Earthbane cycle. First you had the world below, then you had At the Gates, now you have Monster Kingdoms, the third of the Earthbane cycle games where evil is good, evil is a default state, evil will triumph. And in this game, you are playing monsters. The kingdoms belong to you. You are the marauders. You are the beasts. You are the people, the characters, the anti-heroes, the villains that the innocent people, what sparing few of them there are in the monster kingdoms, learn to fear. Oh, you have the usual array of fantasy peoples. There are humans, elves, dwarves, orcs. There are also shapeshifters, there are dragonkin, and there are more besides. What's more, we have 13 unique kingdoms around which to campaign. You see, when the Nythera Empire reached its height, well, all empires have a height, they started losing grip. Sand slips through fingers. And so it is that kingdoms started slipping away from the empire. The empire is now fractured. The kingdoms are at war. And your characters are parts of that war. Many wars, in fact. Some between former allies, some wars of invasion, some wars of defense, some of accumulation, some trying to impose their religions on others. There are many conflicts sprawling across the monster kingdoms. And your characters, well, you are adventurers. Yes, that is the default state in Monster Kingdoms. You are an adventuring squad. You will still participate in adventures. You will still crawl through dungeons, trying to acquire magical scepters, weapons with great ability that can bind themselves to you, and crowns. You will be slaying grotesque abominations, great beasts, from dragons to flying giant squid, in order to claim their crowns, seize them for yourself, become a crown bearer, and gain the ability to cast immense magical spells. In Monster Kingdoms, the world is in a state of chaos. None of the 13 kingdoms are on particularly good terms with each other. Your characters likely occupy the role of mercenaries. You'll work for the highest bidder. Maybe you've got some loyalty to your homeland, but ultimately your loyalty is only going to be to yourself and your squad. The possibility of accumulating wealth or influence, the possibility of spreading your philosophy, what is known as a dusk, in Monster Kingdoms to others. That may be doom, it may be darkness, it could be something else entirely. Yes, in some parts of the Monster Kingdoms, little fractions, chinks of light might spill through, beacons of hope, hopeless beacons of hope exist throughout the Monster Kingdoms, and it is possible that characters can pick them up, they can follow them, they can leave the lives of villainy behind them and pursue lives of redemption. But those are sparing, they are few. That is not what is expected of you. You are a champion of the dark. You are a champion of doom, of death, of fanaticism, cultish devotion, war, slaughter, and all kinds of other fun, evil practices. If politics is your thing, Monster Kingdoms will keep you interested, because every single one of the regimes that exists across the 13 kingdoms, not all of them truly kingdoms, has their own style. The Nythera Empire, in fact, has 3 emperors at this time due to a succession crisis. None of them particularly love each other. And indeed, the various kings and queens, dukes, duchesses, and more that inhabit the kingdoms surrounding the Nythera Empire have no great love for the empire that has been standing in their way for all this time. Everyone feels they have the right to claim power. You can help one of those forces dominate the rest if you want. You can play the role of kingmaker. That is exactly what is available to you. Perhaps if you play a harlequin or a goldsman, 1 or 2 of the mantles that are available to you in this game. Mantles, what in some games you might consider classes or callings or any number of other definitions. In mantles, You have your gauntlets, who are fanatically devoted to their weapons. Marauders, absolute savages that tear up the battlefield, the monsters in front of them, around them, behind them. Magi, they speak for themselves. True power, they believe, exists in magic. Mentalists, who do not believe in the arcane tomes and ancient wordings of scrolls and tablets when all of their power is within. You have harlequins. You have goldsmen. You have executioners who can slit a throat or remove a head. And more. There are a lot of playable options in Monster Kingdoms. And when it comes down to it, the greatest array of playable options is within the realm of monsters themselves. Because it isn't just you have orcs, you have elves, you have shapeshifters. You have houses within each of these brackets that divides them further. The Feyborn come in dreamlike and nightmarish varieties, many of them. The Goblinoids come in artisan, tinkerer, thief, and such. And they are all of them politically or philosophically aligned. So, to compare to other games, you could call these subclasses, or you could call them bloodlines, or you could call them something that highly defines the kind of character you are. You may have loyalty to your kingdom. Perhaps that is the kingdom of Verot if you want to spread disease, infection around the world. It could be the Nythera Empire if you want to apply order to those who prefer chaos. It could be Drauida Hek if you believe magic is the true path to power. It could be the Kingdom of Scales if you think it's time for dragons to awaken from their slumber and subjugate the rest. Maybe the Kingdom of Zin is what calls to you if you think faith will unite us all. Or Sulgazar if you think this whole rotten world needs to be consumed by rampant nature. Brandur if you think that the world needs to return to a primeval state where elements rules all, because indeed you can play an Elementor. Or Kursh if you think that, well, frankly, there's not enough bloodshed yet, and you and the orcs and the goblins of Kursh will lead that campaign of industrial warfare. Maybe Undeath is what calls to you, and Krior or the Kingdom of Dis, vampires and wraiths, likewise playable in this game, are what appeal. Or maybe you enjoy the whimsy of chaos, or the fey strands of chaos, and the kingdoms of Pandemion and Iom are what draw you. Then, deep in the southeast, far removed from land, from the rest of the Kingdom of Gowyn, you have the Kingdom of the Malignant Mind, where it would be a stretch to say mentalists rule. Only one mentalist rules there. Everybody else is enslaved to it. There are many kingdoms, many characters, many opportunities for play in Monster Kingdoms. And as I say, you can adventure, you can crawl through dungeons, you can slay dire beasts, you can claim their treasures, you can make yourself more and more powerful. And in claiming crowns, those crowns don't just have to be ephemeral. You can claim the crowns of these kingdoms. You can come to rule Brandur. You can come to topple the emperors over Nythera and remold the empire in your own form. Monster Kingdoms opens up the world of Gowyn, and there are so many doors through which you can enter, so many worlds within Monster Kingdoms that you can explore. And just as with all other Earthbane games, it plays with a strand of apocalypse. The world below, as we know, dealt with an apocalypse that has already happened. You've survived it, or your ancestors did, and now you're underworld, under the world, trying to forge a life for yourself. A life of survival, of foraging, of hunting. In At the Gates, the weapons you are playing with, these daemons that you are summoning, they will herald the end of the world. It's practically a nuclear arms race of magic. In Monster Kingdoms, it's a different kind of world ending. You see, this is a world ending where evil has already won, where the way to settle a conflict is through disembowelment and decapitation. And once your foe has fallen, you don't respect their corpse. You loot it, you strip it of everything that it had on it, you take its weapon, you claim that weapon as your own, you name that weapon, you make it a scepter that you will wield with even more devastating prowess than its former bearer. And then you will seek out a crown for yourself. Build a legend. Build your infamy in Monster Kingdoms. The world of Go In is open to you. Make your mark on it. Make it a devastating one. Leave a scar. Make them remember you. Make them fear you. Make your monsters figures of nightmare and myth. This video was requested, I'm happy to say, by supporters of my Patreon and one purchaser of The World Below in hard copy. I want to thank you so much for requesting a broadside explanation of the Monster Kingdoms and what you can do. Monster Kingdoms will be coming to crowdfunding in ideally late August, but I'm sure I will tell you when the campaign goes live. If you have any questions about what Monster Kingdoms is about, what you can do in Monster Kingdoms, if there's anything that excites you about Monster Kingdoms that you want to tell others about, tell us about it in the comments below. It's a great place to do it. I would love to hear your thoughts. But what's more, as always, if there is any video you want to see, just pick up a copy of The World Below, and soon this will extend to Monster Kingdoms. If you order yourself a copy of Monster Kingdoms, a hard copy, via the crowdfunding campaign when it goes live, get in touch with me via MatthewDawkins.com and request a video off the back of it. Buy an RPG, get a video for free. This World Below deal will be extending to Monster Kingdoms once it is available to crowdfund. Keep it in mind. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.